Alrighty, so we're doing their 11th episode, which is a special episode because Oliver managed to do well in the calling. We're gonna go over Oliver's tournament report. So this will be a normal tournament report, except not written and not normal at all, where Oliver will just recount from memory, and we as the Peanut Gallery will be making comments at his expense.
That's right, folks. You demanded it. Now you've got an Oliver-centric episode.
Yes,
Did people demand
absolutely.
it?
I
He
demanded
demanded
it.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
One person got it.
yeah, more than one person. Exactly, right?
Yeah,
So.
exactly. People demanded it.
So I guess we'll start off at the beginning then, which is let's talk about your performance at the Pro Tour, not the calling this weekend, for Flesh and Blood, the first ever Pro Tour, where you scrubbed out 3-3 and didn't even finish
Spoiler.
the first day.
Spoiler
Wow.
alert.
Oh, true.
Wait. But what about the time when I had to get to New York and then my phone exploded and then?
Sure,
Okay,
let's start from
no,
there.
just kidding.
Go ahead, Oliver.
No,
Tell
we're
us
good.
about how your phone almost caused an international incident on the plane,
The battery expanded. I had to get a new one.
and he refused to report it to the FAA of every single
Please, no.
airline safety regulation in existence.
Yeah. Yep. Well, yeah. And then I just waited around for a couple hours
Yes.
until
New York
shops actually opened because I
at
came in. I
6
didn't
a.m.
red
in the
eye.
morning. Yes,
Yeah.
because the plane had to make an emergency landing. Drop
Did
the ball.
not. It was fine. Everything was
And
fine.
he ran all the way from New York to New Jersey.
So
Yeah,
I got in a couple hours, or I guess half a day after you. And then one thing I noticed, and I'll start this off, is that people were playing Fab as soon as I got into the hotel room, and I think we can just start from there. I got in on Wednesday night, and I don't think you did too much on Thursday, right?
So I got in Wednesday morning. I went around and tried to get my phone fixed, and eventually I just bought a new one. And I just walked around New York for a bunch because I haven't been there in a while. And yeah,
What did you do Thursday then?
Thursday we picked up Alan in the morning, and then we were going to go on the High Line, but it was closed. And then eventually you went back for the judge thing,
Conference.
and
Press
then
conference,
Alan and I we went to go get Ichiran. So and then we went back because Alan was tired. He didn't want to walk around all day.
Good start. I
Yeah.
remember, I think it got back and you guys were playing in a lobby, right, against Ian?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We met Ian from Ian TCG, and he's a cool dude from the Netherlands. He actually messaged me to test for for Pro Tour, and he recognized me by my voice
And that's
because
the
we've never
first
seen each
time,
other.
first time of many.
Yes.
You're going to be hearing a lot more of Oliver's voice throughout this episode.
Yes, so
Unfortunate.
drill it in your head so you
Smooth.
can recognize them in person.
Those smooth, dulcet
Yeah.
tones.
Face reveal happened.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly. I recorded you and posted it on YouTube.
Well, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I just wanted to play cards.
The airlines now have images of, have you seen this man?
His phone has exploded.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So let's go for Friday. Beginning of the Pro Tour. Let's start off with your first match in the Pro Tour. Do you
Sure.
remember that at all?
Yeah. So round 1 was against Ravi Sharma. Hopefully I'm not butchering any names. He actually started the match. He was like, "Hey, are you from OK&Y?" I'm like, "Yes."
We're famous. We've
I
made
know, right? Yeah, people really like us. But yeah, he was a really cool guy. And the game that we played was really close. He was playing Casino Starvo. I was obviously on Prism. I didn't draw too many ores in the beginning, and he was able to fuse a bunch of times, and he got me down really low. And then eventually he just killed me with Dominate Attack. But yeah, it was fun. He was a good player. He's from Texas, and then he said that he was like more of a casual player. But I mean, to make it to the Pro Tour, I don't think he's as casual as he seems, or he says he is.
Don't you say you're a casual player?
Yeah, I'm not. I technically didn't make it to the Pro Tour because I got second enough times, but also because Brian let me have the invite.
Oh, there you go. So you got it passed down.
Yeah.
Hand me
Gifted
down
to
an
you.
invite.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Brian just let me have the invite because he wasn't going.
Yeah, just walk us through the rest of your matches then.
Oh, okay,
whenever you're
sure.
ready.
Yeah. So round 1 was a loss against Casino Star, but round 2 was against Chain. I was testing Art of Wars that weekend, so I had Art of Wars instead of Pummels. I was gonna go fatigue him, and that was a success. It was against Noah Knackle. If anyone knows who he is, I had 22 life left, and
I do know who Noah Knackle is, actually. He's an Australian player, I believe.
Oh, okay, cool.
I believe he's Australian.
Yeah, I think that was what his accent was. I didn't really talk to him much, He just told me that he sideboarded incorrectly post game. Like he didn't have clips and he had like not a lot of blood depth for some reason, so he didn't put a lot of pressure on. But yeah, fatigued chain,
Yeah.
success.
Shout out to Noah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I guess not congratulations for this particular game, but congratulations for making it all the way to the Pro Tour.
Yep. Yeah, I want to say like a lot of the people I met and played against were very chill people, and yeah, they're all good sports. So
that's good.
Yeah, there weren't
that's what you want out of a game.
Exactly. Yeah, there weren't that many like salty players that I can tell at least. But yeah. So yes, round 2 was a win. Round 3 was against Control Starvo. His name was Lee Fletcher. He was keeping auras in check really well until he just decided to Spinal Face and ignore like a passing mirage or something, and it just kind of snowballed from there because I was just like, okay, I take this, put down 2 auras, and then he just couldn't catch up from there. So that one was a win. Round 4 was against another Control Starvo, Andrea Pizzetti from Italy, I think. He was also
seems like a running theme. Running into Starvo. It's almost like it was like a really popular deck or something.
Yeah, right. I remember a time when you guys didn't think Starvo was good.
Yeah, look, way to put us on blast. But look, we were wrong. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't play enough, and on face value, it did seem like it was not going to be super strong. I mean, that's the thing. I guess that's the thing that a lot of people talk about, right? Obviously, it's consistent enough to do well, but there is still a fair bit of variance in it, right? Like sometimes you just end up with dominate 8 turns in a row, and other times you just fuse 8 turns in a row, whatever, and other times you just don't, right?
Yeah, you have no idea. Yesterday was the most hilarious game I've seen for Starvo, and completely one-sided.
Yeah, I'm willing to concede that I'm wrong. Like I was wrong. It was a lot better than I thought.
Yeah, no shame.
It's okay being wrong because everybody has wrong takes that everybody just forgets about, and everybody just focuses on the times that they were right, like Oliver right now.
Oh yes, totally.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with a humbling. We were wrong.
Yep.
And that is okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyways, yeah. So round 4, Control Starvo. He was also keeping auras in check, and he was a little bit more diligent about it. But eventually, the prismatic shield stacked up, and I played back-to-back Otiraths, and he didn't have enough. He couldn't fuse. He didn't have enough going in to clear shields, and eventually I just chipped them down. With that. So
you're 3-1 at this point.
Yeah.
You're feeling pretty good. This is when I think you mentioned to me that you were 3-1, and I was like, oh wow, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, and then I was like,
we definitely didn't spoil his end result, did we?
No, not at all. Yeah, and then I was like, I'm ready to drop, and then Yichin was like, just play it out. Anyways.
Yeah, you were 3-1, and you're like, I'm ready to drop, which is, I was like, what?
Yeah.
All of us had his fun for the day.
Yeah, the plan was to play in the calling anyway, so. Round 5 was against Aura Prism. Zane Johnson. He's a guy from SoCal, and we met him the previous night at the banquet. He's one of Yuki's testing partners, and I think he plays with Tyler Horspool as well. Super nice guy, yeah. And I played super greedily, and I played super poorly, and I got punished for it very hard. I knew what I was doing. I told Zane, I was like, all right, this is going to be a terrible play. And I did double aura turn 1. And then he responded with his own aura, and I was like, oh yeah, this sucks. And then I just drew no yellows in my opening hands, and in my next couple of hands, I drew like 3 blues and 1 Command and Conquer, and then I drew like 2 Command and Conquers and 2 blues or something. It was like just like really trash. And I just got steamrolled. But I don't, yeah.
Why aren't we interviewing that guy?
Because he's not
superior prison player.
He's not okay. He's good.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, we only work with okay people here.
Yeah,
that's true. I suppose if you'd ended up winning the calling, we couldn't have you on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
you'd be too good for this podcast.
Yeah, he had like triple parable out at one point. I was just like, this is trash, because I kept drawing all heralds. I was like, okay, I war tune you for 2. Go again. Yeah. It was still fun though. He had me assign one of his prismatic shields because he had a thing that was like every opponent that he plays is gonna sign a prismatic shield for him. It's just like good sentimental value. Obviously I lost that one. Yeah, and yeah, that's what happens when you just play poorly, I guess.
I do like, by the way, it's sign this card I beat you with.
Well, also no, he had it for the people he lost to as well. It's just
of course. It's just the idea of it. Like the idea of it is really nice. It's just, as I said, the funny outcome.
Yeah. I think the other funny thing is that he also watches our content, and he watches it enough that his wife goes, "Hey, are you watching Oliver again?" Every time like she hears me playing.
She hears the shuffling, doesn't she?
She hears
Yeah.
the sniffing every time I play a card. Yeah.
I didn't notice that you did that, but now that I think about it, you probably do.
I didn't notice that either until someone mentioned it in the comments.
Okay,
So
so
yeah, it's what happens when we put ourselves out to the public, scrutinized over everything.
Yeah.
okay, so first Prism loss of the weekend.
Oh, first of many. And then, all right. So round 5 was a loss, 3-2. Round 6 was Herald Prism against Calvin Holt. He flipped over an Arcanite Skullcat, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. And then I just got Heralded down. I got aggroed Herald down in like 5 turns with Anima Chimera and Fractals and Phantasmaclasms. And I was just like, ouch. I drew no poppers, so I couldn't even like stop his tempo. Yeah, I just got steamrolled. There's Herald Prism completely beats Aura Prism. Yeah, that's it. I here is where I was wrong, where I said the Prism Mirror is not all about poppers anymore, and apparently you still need some.
Pardon my ignorance. By a popper, do you mean like being able to break auras?
Yeah,
Is that what you mean by poppers?
Breaking Phantasm. So the Herald.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, poppers. I see. Okay, so like
6 power attacks.
like Command and Conquer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I got completely steamrolled because that's how the matchup goes. Then I ended up 3-3, and then I pressed the drop button, and then I went to go enter in the calling. But they paired me for round 7, so I lost an additional elo, which is nice.
Ooh, well,
Excellent.
Yeah. You can steal more elo from playing.
Exactly. It's preparing me for the elo steal in the calling.
The big brain play, submarine elo.
Sandbagging elo so that you can better induce salt to your opponents.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's it.
So
that was my pro tour.
I remember what happened was that when you were 3-3, you came up to me and you're like, I want to quit. I was like, don't quit, just play it out. And then you're like, I'm going to quit.
Nah,
and I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, at that point, I wasn't really feeling it because I drew like super shit for the past 2 games, and I was like, I just want to like chill. I don't want to like stress myself out because like this pro tour, everyone's like really gunning for it for the like the prizes and everything. I'm just like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, I have 2 quick little anecdotes on that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. So the first one is just about submarining elo. I remember when the first time I ever did well at a Magic tournament, this was when I was like 14 or 15 or something like that. At the time, I played against Aaron Nicastri. I don't know if you guys know him from Magic, but he was quite a prolific Australian player for some time. And I beat him in the tournament. And I just remember going back and looking at my DCI rating at the time and watching it go from like 1480, which was, bottom tier. You start at 1600. And after that tournament, I was like well above 1600 because I'd just stolen maximum points from literally everyone I'd played against. So, good job on you for losing that extra round in the Pro Tour.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Stealing maximum points. And the other one was, so when I was on the Pro Tour, the one time I went for Magic, I had a similar thing where, it was actually, funnily enough, the Pro Tour was where I kind of lost all of my inspiration for Magic. Not because I did badly, but it was actually just because the competitive environment I felt was just not as fun. Like it wasn't what I actually enjoyed about playing card games. And so I was doing badly, admittedly. I think I was 0-2 or 0-3 I was 0-2 and then I got a bye. And then I won the 4th round. And then I did get to the point where I could have potentially made day 2. And then I lost the 6th round, which eliminated me. And then I dream crushed a Japanese guy in the last round. Where I couldn't make it, but he could. And he just didn't get the win.
Ouch.
Anyway, summary of that is basically just, high level competitive stuff. It's still fun in its own right? It's the competitive atmosphere is still enjoyable. But it is very different. So I understand exactly where you're coming from with I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, I like a challenge, but if it comes to me where it's like in a stressful environment, I don't want to do that. Yeah. So after I dropped from the Pro Tour, signed up for the calling, went to go meet the artists, just did some, I guess, touristy
side
stuff.
events.
I didn't do any side events. I just did.
Touristy stuff is the real side event.
Oh yeah. Meeting Steve Argyle, getting his signature, meeting Federico Musetti, getting his signatures on our stuff. All fun. And then I think I helped Alan. Alan is one of our friends and he's starting a new YouTube channel. I'll probably link it down in the comments or the description. But he had a lot of nerves, like trying to go up and talk to people. I was just like egging him on. I was like, hey, you want to talk to that person? Hey, you want to talk to this person? He was looking for very specific people.
This is
Just-
odd because I don't remember you being particularly proactive at talking to people in general.
Well, that's because I don't like talking. But
Wow.
Okay, so
he's
talk to
trying to
Morgan.
interview
like-
people, so that's kind of part of the thing.
Anyway, so go on.
Go on for what?
So
Continue
Saturday
your
morning.
story.
Yeah, Saturday morning. Let's talk about the calling now. Get to the real meat of the thing. Let's go through all of your whatever, how many matches that you played.
I have no idea. I just played.
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Round 1. Let's go.
So in Saturday morning, I woke up. I got breakfast like any other day. No, I'm just kidding.
But today was a day unlike any other.
Was it? I didn't have my milk with
Oh.
my cereal, so
But you didn't have that all weekend. So
I know.
that's
Yeah.
fine.
So we were testing a theory because I had milk and cereal for nationals. I did okay, and then I didn't have milk on the first calling I went to at Vegas, and I did 1-3 drop. And then this time I did no milk. I did 3-3 Pro Tour drop. So we were testing the no milk theory, and this is how it went.
So just to confirm, sorry, you so far had a working theory that if you ate cereal with milk, you'd do well,
Yes.
and if you ate cereal without milk, you'd do poorly.
Yes.
So on this particular morning of the crawling, which is a big event, you decided to go with no milk.
Yep.
He didn't
Okay.
have milk available to him. He's very intolerant to lactose.
Okay.
So he was milkless for the entire weekend.
Yeah. I need a special
Right.
brand of milk.
Right. Okay. So I just wanted to clarify that you hadn't intentionally decided to try and test the "am I going to do badly if I don't have milk" thing. It was just more circumstance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
All right,
Anyways.
cool.
Yeah. So round 1 was against Attikin Kosin. He's a Reinar player, and he told me it's like, this is gonna be a free win for you. I'm a new player, and then he proceeds to fucking blood rush bellow me, intimidate 4 cards, get me down to 18 on turn 1, and he kept rolling like 6s and 5s and all that other shit, just Reinar stuff, and I was just like, I'm so dead. And then he rolled a 1-1, Gambler's Gloves, and then and then I was able to finally like, turn tempo back and eventually kill him. But yeah, he was pretty cool.
The big brain play. He's like, I'm a new player, plays without sleeves. You know,
well,
plays his cards out of his hand really sloppily. He's actually like one of the highest rated players in the world or something.
yeah,
Big brain.
It was kind of hilarious because like one of our friends, John, he was in the Pro Tour. He's playing Aggro Visorai. He went to go. He finished his game, came by, saw I was at 10, left, go play his game, came back. I was at 8 life. That's how long I was trying to hold on to my hold on for dear life in that game. But yeah,
And you held on from the sounds of it.
yeah. Once he did the double 1s, I was able to like kind of set up my auras and then set up a defense reaction arsenal and all that stuff. So whenever he tried to intimidate my stuff, I was just able to get rid of his barrage and beatdowns, and then it just like chip him down. So and after he rolled the double 1s, he rolled another 1, and then that pretty much sealed the game.
Yeah.
Let me try to find my life sheet.
The highs and lows of Reiner.
Yeah. Let's see. 6. Let me find it. 1. So it was 40. So it was 1840. And then I have a bunch of marks where it went like on his life total went like 39, 38, 37, 36, 35, 33, 29, 25, 22, 21, 15.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a bit of chipping from the sounds of it, and then
Yeah.
then once you were able to hold your hand and not chip anymore,
Mhm.
it sounds like you got heralds online and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's mostly just I think just auras, and then yeah, he did have to leak some heralds through. Yeah, and on my side of the thing, it was 18, starting at 18 life. It was 18, 16, 13, 10, 8, 6. So I ended the game at 6 life.
Yeah,
Pretty crazy.
he did more damage on the first turn. I suppose it makes sense because he did 22 damage on the first swing.
Mm-hmm.
But he did more damage there than he did over the course of the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, that was a fun game though. It's just Reinar things, honestly. Yeah,
I
so
do,
that
like,
was
I do like Reiner.
Yeah.
He's good fun, even though like there is a fair bit of variance in how he can perform sometimes.
Mhm.
You know, he is quite enjoyable. It is fun to just hit people with a club.
Yeah, I never actually didn't get to catch up with him again, but he said his goal was 1 win in 8 rounds. So hopefully he got his goal. Anyways,
Okay.
round 2.
two.
Yeah, round 2 was against Chain. The player was Randall Suliga. This is the next test for fatiguing Chain. I was actually able to, let's see, how do I want to put this? He started off pretty strong. He leaked through a lot of damage with Rosetta Thorn, and the whole time I was blocking as best I could and trying to not put a blue aura into my graveyard to turn off his inverts. Eventually it came down to like the wire after he got Ursa out. So what happened was I was at 28 life. He was at like 6 or 7 shackles. He set up for the big Ursa turn. He got me down to 8 after that Ursa turn. 28 to 8, and I saved a Herald in my arsenal just for the Ursa. And then as soon as he put it down on my turn, I just Tunic Mortune Herald into the Ursa, and he was not expecting that. And because he was trying to fatigue me or like go over my defenses with Ursa, and depending on the Ursa to push through damage. And yeah, and then with no auras in the graveyard, all his inverts were kind of dead. And yeah, that pretty much sealed the game from there. And afterward,
this was actually a game that I ended up watching the end of, and
Mhm.
when I got to the table, I saw 2 or 3 inverts on the table, and you were at like pretty low life. So I was like, why doesn't he just invert? I didn't realize you didn't have any non-attack actions until I thought about it somewhere. I was like, is it possible that he just didn't block with any of the blue auras?
Yeah,
which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's some good strategic play, right? Like, well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the entire game, right? You just planned for that. Did he banish an invert early, or was it just like it just ended up naturally happening?
He banished 2 inverts in like the mid game, and he couldn't do anything with them.
I see. You just kind of played around it from there.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I was at like 3 life I ended at 3 life. I'm looking at the life total right now. I was at 8 life after the Ursa. He brought me down to 7 the next turn, and then brought me down to 3 at the very last turn. And he couldn't finish it off. And yeah, that's all thanks to not having any non-attacks in my graveyards and killing Ursa immediately.
And then Randall also replied to one of our videos as well. So if you want to, I guess take a look, you can in the comments.
Yeah, I remember the comment.
Yeah,
but it's kind of hard to pull up on the thing right now.
Yeah, pretty good game. Pretty interesting game. I wish that would have been recorded, but I guess you can't always record super cool games to play in these sorts of things that end up naturally happening.
Yeah, and he's a very strong player as well because he ended up 10-3, which is the same record that I did. Oh yeah. So he commented. He said, "Congrats and great job. Glad one of my losses was to someone who made it to the finals. I ended up 10-3 by the end of it, but losing to Oliver in round 2 didn't help my splits. Can't confirm it was definitely my favorite game of the weekend, and highlighted that I really need to find more than just one person to play test. And he hopes to cross paths at another event one day." Yeah, he's a very cool guy.
Yeah, it's another cool guy that you crushed his dreams of.
I'm sorry.
But nice comment. You know, it's nice to crush the dreams of nice guys.
Yeah, he's a very good sport. Yeah.
Round 3.
Round 3 was against another chain, Tyler Wolford. What
Why
happened?
does that name sound so familiar? Like, I don't know why, but it just sounds familiar.
Yeah, I can't help you there. I don't really know anyone. That's the issue. Anyways, yeah. So another test to Fatigue Chain. Still playing my Art of Wars. He actually played a Tome of Find All very early on and blocked with Carrion Husk, like right after he tomed, because I CNC'd him. And eventually he got me down to 22. No, sorry, 13. So I'm not sure and I think he went down to like 8 shackles, or went up to 8 shackles or so. So the Carrion Husk dealt more damage to him than it saved. And eventually he just died to Blood Debt. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't put out that much pressure. He shuffled his deck like midway, so he never actually got Eclipse out from Banish. Eclipse was banished on like the 7th shackle, and at that point he already used up too much of his Blood Debt, and he couldn't get it out. So, yeah,
tax man comes for everyone.
Yeah, yep. So that was another chain that was fatigued, and yeah, don't really have anything else to add to that. Just 13 life at the end. He was at 4, and then he died of Blood Debt.
So 2 runners, or 1 runner, 2 chains. What was your next match?
Herald Prism against Zach Allen. This is the one where I had like 6 auras on the field. Yeah, he was heralding me down. I was able to temporarily stop his assault because I actually did draw one of my poppers, and eventually he pivoted to an aura plan midway, just so he can try and keep control of my auras. And eventually I had like 6 or so auras out in the field. I had like a Pierce Reality, Shimmers, and other stuff. but I just couldn't draw a yellow. And he was at, let's see, he was at 11 life. I was at 5-ish. And I just had one dead turn, and then he Phantasmaclasmed me, Erudition, and Fractal. And I just died.
It's a big turn.
Yeah. Yeah, all I needed was like one yellow. I got him down to 6, I believe. And yeah, that was a good game though.
So 3-1 at the moment, right? So that was your first loss?
Yeah. 3-1. Asked me afterwards. He was like, I recognize your name from somewhere. Did you ever top anything? I was like, nope. And I did not mention our channel at all.
Way to not shill for ourselves.
I know. Yeah, but he did comment as well. He found our channel. Yep. Yeah.
He found you
That
out.
was exceptionally rude on your part, man.
What happened?
You were like, I don't do anything. I don't want you to watch our content.
You recognize the intent of the question, and then you answer it to the letter of the question.
Yeah.
Other than the intent.
Yeah. You got to be specific. I'm very literal.
Oh, yeah.
This is why we need Oliver to talk more.
Yes. Okay, so round 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Zach also did pretty well in the calling. He did. He got the day 2. I didn't catch up with him afterwards, but I saw him at the top tables, throughout the day. So, yeah. Round 5, Starvo against Todd Caudell. I'm just gonna say he let me have Merciful turn 1 because he swung with a hammer, and it kind of just snowballed from there.
This was your first Starvo in. I mean, you played Starvo a fair bit in the Pro Tour.
I played 2.
First Starvo.
Yeah, first Starvo in the calling.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The Starvo matchup is, I would say, is 50-50, or sure, Starvo versus Prism, but it wholly depends on the Starvo player. If they get greedy, then I can punish them really hard, and that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, that's all I have to say for that one. Let me check. Yeah, he did 11 damage to me.
Got greedy, got punished.
Yeah, he did 11 damage to me in one hit. Yeah, he only hit me once, and then yeah, he died. That's all I have. So my life total was 40 to 29, and no other markings after that. Okay. Yep. So yeah, that was it. Round 6 was against Chain against Matthew McInnes. He was actually on the Knick-Knack Brick-a-Brack chain, which is hilarious. But he actually didn't play any because he got all his time snap outs like by turn 4, which is actually pretty impressive. But that resulted in him not putting a lot of pressure on me. And that also resulted in me resolving a bunch of auras, which was 3 Pierce Realities, and eventually he killed one. And then I hit him back with like a 10 damage 10 damage to Judgment, and yeah, that pressured his hand, and I kind of just steamrolled him, honestly, because by the time he was at like 6 or something shackles, I was at 36 life still, and I was able to fatigue him easily, even with all his time snaps. And then I did the same thing, have War Tune and Arsenal for his Ursa, then I Tunic War Tune into Ursa, and that was it.
So now sitting at 5-1, right?
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep.
Dispatched 3 chains, a Starvo, and a Rhino.
Yep. And then round 7 was against Starvo. The pilot was David Elrod. He wanted to filter his hand turn 1, so he attacked, and he let me have Genesis turn 1. And
Ooh.
yeah, that as I said before, that kind of snowballed out of control. And yeah, he owned up to his mistake after we discussed the game at the end. But yeah, I was very curious why he wanted to do it, because Starvo has Crown and Seas and all the other stuff, right? So you don't need to attack on turn 1. You can always take it a little bit slow, and just the risk of having or letting the Prism get an aura turn 1 is just too high, I think. Yeah.
Strikes me as so weird, by the way, that like the correct play against Prism a lot of the time is just turn 1 pass. Like it's just an odd mechanical situation.
Yeah.
That is basically, you just don't want to create a priority window for the Prism player to do anything. I guess it's just odd because most games would provide a priority window for the opponent during your turn anyway. So Flesh and Blood is unique in that sense. But yeah, it's just a bit strange. I wonder if that was designed by intention. Something about it tells me that it's not.
Yeah,
it ends up being a good balancing factor too, where it's, or maybe that's like, it's not a good balancing factor, but it's a nice like way for skill and like knowledge of the game to help shine through a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Like that. I mean, it definitely helps there, right? I remember because I haven't been playing as much when I was playing against Oliver and I was on Azalea. He was saying, you should just pass in your first turn because then it just means I can't do anything.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah. It's just a weird thing. It's not intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is what I would say as well.
Yeah. It's the keep your action point up. You can attack turn 1, and if I'll block, and if you see that I have less than 2 cards in hand and nothing floating, then you can continue attacking. Otherwise, I'll try and resolve an aura. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the final round of the day was against Reinar, piloted by Chandler Toe. He was on a different type of Reinar. He was on the Pommel Reinar with claws, with no barraging beatdowns. And this match was really fun. I was playing, and Alan was watching, and Chandler's friend was watching. It was such a good back and forth, and Chandler was such a nice guy. And he got a decent number of pummel hits and rolled pretty well. But eventually it came down to like him wanting to go face instead of clear auras. So I had like a couple auras out, and that was slowly chipping him down while he was trying to go face and pressure my life total. But yeah, eventually it came down to me at 8 with I want to say haze bending, pierce reality, and a spectral shield out. And he was at 3 life. And he went to go play Blood Rush Bellow. I played Arclight Sentinel. That resolved. Blood Rush Bellow resolved. He intimidated me. I went to go use my Tunic, pitch the other blue in my hand to play Merciful from Arsenal. And that forced him to roll Scab Skins, because if he tries to go through the Arclight Sentinel, he would take 1 arcane damage. And then that would generate a shield from Haze Bending. And then if he tries to go through and attack me, the 2 shields will pop. And that would do 2 more arcane damage, which means that he would die. So he rolled Scab Skins, rolled a 4, had to take care of Arclight and then Merciful. And that brought him down to 1. But he couldn't really close out the game from there, because every time I attacked, I just kept pressuring his hand. So yeah, that was a really fun game. I believe he had... What's up?
You go. No, you go.
There was I believe he has like a tournament report as well in the Reinar chat. So if you guys want to check out his deck list, because he also went 10-3 as Reinar in the calling. And I think he placed 12th overall, which is very good for Reinar in my opinion.
Yeah, 10-3 is way more impressive as Reinar than Prism.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have him on the podcast. I am kidding, of course. What I was going to say was what the guy appreciate about your reports, Oliver, is often you say this game was really fun, or like this was really enjoyable, right? Like it's something that I think is it's really nice, right? It's not just focused on the mechanics of the game, what you play, what you did right, what you did wrong, what the opponents did right, what the opponents did wrong. It's actually just like, oh no, this game was fun.
Yeah.
Not to huff copium as I as I heard, but it is just a nice thing to hear.
Yeah, it's a game to me. I don't want it to be, as soon as I like think of it as something I need to do well in, or like people have high expectations of me or something, I just lose all enjoyment of it. So it's first and foremost a game to me. That's all. And games are all about having fun. Yeah. So we ended day 7-1.
Yep. And I think I remember seeing at the top of the list, I was like being like, oh wow, Oliver did pretty well for once. So.
Oh yeah. And then I also placed 17th overall. 17 is my number apparently, which is weird.
Yes, 17th best Prism.
Yeah.
But I remember this, and let's go back to the milk situation. You realized it wasn't milk that was helping you; it was something else.
Yeah, it was a good night's sleep.
Yeah,
amazing. It was self-confidence. He had the power to do it all along.
It was self-care, which was the most important part. Having 6 hours. Who knew having 6 hours of sleep would affect your performance versus having 2 hours of sleep?
Yeah, I would not have known. I thought it was the milk.
Who would have thought? Well, I did have a fun thing when I used to play a lot of Magic, where I actually had the opposite thing, where whenever I did a lot of self-care and took, had a good night's sleep, had breakfast, and everything, I always did really badly at the tournament. Whereas if I was just, I would be up until 5 a.m. in the morning and then make a deck change, like literally to a completely different deck that I'd never played the hour before, and that was when I always did well at tournaments. So I don't know why that is the case. I mean, that hasn't happened since then, but it was just a funny coincidence.
Maybe that's your thing. Just YOLO.
Being extremely, extremely tired.
Yeah. I mean, I know some people work under pressure. Maybe you just work well when you have no sleep.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
neurons.
You clearly work
firing.
well with sleep.
Yeah, I sleep a lot. If you know me, like really well.
I have in fact noticed.
Good.
Often I'm sending you a message on Discord, and you're like, "Sorry, I was having a nap."
Yeah.
I'm like, what time is it?
It's like 6 p.m. It's like 12. It's always nap time.
Okay,
Yeah.
so day 2, the calling. You have. Did you feel slightly more pressure? going in?
No, not really. I had my cereal with no milk. I had 6 hours of sleep, and I was just going to go there and play. So
And at this point, you hadn't realized that sleep was the secret ingredient to doing
yeah,
it. So the 6 hours of sleep was entirely coincidental.
yes, yeah.
Okay. So game 1, day 2.
Game 1, day 2.
Round 9 overall, right?
Yeah, round 9 against Starvo. Pilot was Alex Keeler. I kind of high rolled him, played double aura for multiple turns, and I like completely destroyed him. So
Here's a question for you, actually, not necessarily related to this game. Do you find the Starvo matchup enjoyable overall?
yeah, I actually do. If they high roll me, they high roll me. But like the grindier games, I actually really enjoyed. Like though I played a lot against Alan, and I like it because it has a lot of what is it? It has a lot of lines, it has a lot of decisions to make, and all those decisions eventually add up at the end of the game. Yeah. So when it's more close, that is. That's all.
Yeah, when nobody's high rolling.
Yeah. When everyone is medium rolling, that's when it's fun.
Yeah, who knows what the game is fun and balanced when everybody is doing what they expect on equal playing grounds.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was round 9. What is that? 8-1. The next round.
8-1.
Yeah. Round 10 was against Starvo, against Anthony Bugochi. Also did the same thing, played double aura for multiple turns and overwhelmed him.
As you do.
Yeah, that's what Prism does. So 2 high rolly games back to back.
9-1.
9-1. Yep. I think at this point I was also, I think Battle Hardened started around this time, and I was just going back and forth between like Yuki's game and trying to find who else was playing in the Battle Hardened. Some of our other friends that we've met throughout the events, like Wesley and Peter and all that other stuff. So yeah, I was just
For a sec, I thought you said you were you called Yichin and you're like, I'm thinking about dropping.
oh
Battle
yeah.
Hardened.
Yeah. Battle Hardened. Yeah, I should play Battle Hardened because Blitz is really fun, right? So I've heard. I don't know.
I've heard too.
You need to be more specific with your sarcasm because people might take the wrong message out of this.
Oh yeah.
Me?
I hate Blitz. There you go.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
I suppose I know the context.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So let me look up the life totals for these past 2 rounds. Round 9, I got hit 3 times. No, sorry, I got hit once. I went from 40 to 37, and then I killed him. And and then 10th round was, I got hit once, 40 to 36.
These were the Starvo games.
Yeah, these are the Starvo games where I high rolled them.
Yeah, right.
So that's how one-sided they were.
Gotcha. And this is just you gloating.
Kind of, yeah. I wanted to like really show them how much I beat them, right?
That's right.
No, I'm just kidding.
If you guys are listening, Starvo players, you got wrecked.
Nah.
Words from Oliver's mouth.
Yeah.
So next time, remember that, and when you face them, you can wreck him back.
Yeah, exactly.
Teach him a lesson in humility.
Yeah, karma comes around eventually.
Yes.
Which is going to be the next round because I put against Josh Lind. I think he got 2nd in Swiss. He was also on Starvo. This was I believe he was on like Control Starvo, and he just controlled all my auras really well throughout the game. He got some good fuses, and he's able to whittle my life total down really fast. And I didn't see any of my defense reactions, and it eventually came down to 3-3. And then I leaked some damage. I got down to 1 life. Then he fused and I died. And I saw 1 soul shield all game. So that's why I couldn't keep my life total up. Yeah. So that's karma comes around and I lost.
Hard to block when you don't draw cards that block.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What a concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So next round 12, I think.
Round 12. Brian Basoko on Starvo.
Mm-hmm.
He was also doing the same thing that Starvo does, control auras until he doesn't, and then kind of got out of hand with the haze bending triggers and prismatic shields, and eventually I just whittled him down. He got me down to 14 though, so it's a closer game than the double aura games on round 9 and 10.
Just to remember round 9 and round 10.
Yeah, right.
They got
I gotta revel in it. Okay, I gotta bask in the glory of what my deck can do.
Let's wait for that round 13 karma.
Oh yeah, the round 13 karma, here it comes. I played against Briar and I lost. My worst matchup, honestly. He did double Channel Mount Heroic. He drew a dud hand afterwards, but at that point he already went for like a what is it, like a 12 damage, 10 damage lightning surge, and then 10 damage swarming gloomveil or something. I don't remember. Something silly. Yeah, 6 plus 4 is 10. Yeah, he just did that back to back, and I was just like, oh, this is so backbreaking. But yeah, he placed 7th. Ralph. Sorry. Round 13 was against Briar. Ralph Schlari. I'm botching that name. He placed 7th overall, and yeah, he made top 8. I got him down to 5 before I died to the 3rd Channel Mount Heroic.
And your last 2 matches were both losses then in Swiss, right?
No. 12. Round 12 was a win. Sorry.
Okay. It was round 11 was a loss.
Yeah.
Round 12 was a win. Round 13 was a loss.
Yeah.
So I ended the Swiss rounds at 10-3. I didn't think I was gonna make it because I was at table 5. So I went to go get Chipotle with Alan and John.
And it was at this moment that I finished getting Steve Argyle to sign my playmats, and I was like, the calling is about to end in like 10 minutes. Maybe Oliver's still around. So I look around in the spots I've seen him hang out before with the rest of our group, and I don't see him. So I'm like, where is he? So I spend the next, instead of doing the usual thing where I just like call Oliver where he is, I spend the next 15 minutes wandering around the hall just looking for that purple hoodie, and eventually the round ends, and I'm just like, did I miss him somewhere? And then I hear the top 8 announcement. I'm like, oh, maybe Oliver made top 8. I'll just sit and listen. And then he goes through. He says a 1-12-2, a 6 11th, or sorry, 1 like 12-1, 6 11-2s, and like 1-10-3 made it. And I'm like, I think Oliver was. And I saw in the chat that you missed your win in. So I was like, oh, he's probably 10-3 now. I'll just listen and see, maybe he got it in, just squeak by. And at the very end, the judge announces that Oliver Fee has gotten top 8. I'm like, oh crap, I need to find Oliver. And at this point, I realized that he's probably not in the hall anymore because he didn't respond. And I have been looking for him for 15 minutes. So I start calling him on every single Discord channel that I can remember that we share. And eventually, he picks up. The signal's bad, and he hangs up. And I start tagging him, going like, dude, you made top 8. Come back here.
Yeah, I didn't believe him either. I was like, is this a joke? I wanted food. I was really hungry.
Mid Chipotle.
Yeah. We were still in line at that point.
Yeah, I think Alan eventually was the one who's like, you should go back, right? Or something. Like
Yeah.
Alan or like John or someone.
Yeah.
And I ran over to the judge and I was like, because the other top 7 were already there, just like sitting down. I was like, hold on, Oliver left the venue, and they're like, what? And I was like, don't worry, he's nearby. He's running back now, and I didn't know he was running back, so I lied to them. So eventually he runs back, and he checks in with the judges, and then starts breaking out like a bag of beef jerky and starts munching on it because he's hungry.
A boy's gotta eat. I'm still growing.
Yeah, and he starts sharing the beef jerky with everybody around.
Oh my god!
It's like, oh, I'm sorry, I made you guys miss food because I made top 8. Starts sharing the beef jerky. I'm just like, what are you doing, dude? Go take your pictures. You need to go take your pictures for the press.
They left the line because of me. We're getting food. We're hungry.
Okay.
Food's important.
Top 8 happens. I take a bunch of pictures, and they eventually go into their little organized tables. I remember telling him before the Pro Tour, what happens if you make top 8? And he's like, I'm just not gonna be on camera. I'm like, you have to be on camera. You have to sign a waiver to be once you make top 8. And he's like, oh, and I think he just left it at that and just didn't bring up the subject again.
Because I didn't make. I wasn't gonna make it. That's all.
Yeah, you said that. And I was like, whatever. And then you do make it. So I'm like, this is funny. And then his table gets chosen for the feature match. So I'm like, oh, this is funny. So he gets brought over to the little table that LSS set up, which is notable because for the last 2 events, he's been asking what kind of dice they were using on CFB and seeing if we can get the same dice. And so the first thing he asks when he sits down is to the guy doing coverage, Davis, one of my buddies from San Diego, where do you get these dice? And he tells him, and he signals to me to purchase them online. And that's the first thing I remember of him in his top 8 match.
Yeah, I really like those dice.
So let's go over your top 8 matches then, because they're not on camera, and I don't think we'll get the footage for it. So
You don't think we'll get it? You
I don't
gotta
think
use
we'll
your
get it.
connections, man.
My connections are tenuous at best.
I was gonna say that I feel like one of Oliver's advantages is that he has no nerves because his head's not even in the game ever. It
Yes.
seems like it's just I want food. I need to nap. I want those dice. So it's just
Exactly.
immune to intimidation.
Yeah,
Okay, so top 8, I think you're against Adam Little on Starvo.
yeah. He got
I
first
remember
seed.
seeing the, yeah, I seen. So I'll say one more thing, which is I remember seeing the bracket, and I was like, this bracket works out pretty well for Oliver because it was like, there's another Prism which he isn't facing, and would only face in the final, and then there's a Briar and I think a Chain. I was like, he hates Rune Blade, so maybe he might face that, but other than that, it looks like it's just Starvo. So anyway, top 8, Adam Little, go ahead.
He was on Casino Starvo. He fused a couple of times. I don't remember. Oh, here it is. Quarterfinals. He hit me for 2, then 4. Yeah, he got me down to 21. I was able to kind of high roll him. I got a double haze bending down along with some other auras, and that just generated a shit ton of shields. I think I almost ran out of tokens at that point, and yeah, I just poked him down, and yeah, that's just how Starvo goes sometimes.
I remember watching this. I was giving everybody in the Discord the play-by-play. The first thing I note was that on the first turn, he plays a Merciful in response to getting the Frostbite from Winter's Wail, and the opponent had to read Merciful. So I mentioned that, and everybody's like, "Oh, okay, he might win."
Yeah, because obviously the Frostbite's controlled by me, so when it pops on the end of my turn, Merciful will do 1 arcane damage. That's all.
Yeah.
In case anyone's wondering.
Yeah, and that's
wow. What an odd interaction. Like I get that, but that's wow.
It's fun. It's fun, and it always catches people off guard, and usually the sides games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. I imagine being like Lexi or something and generating like 13, frostbites or whatever, and then just going, oh wait, what? Hold up.
It's reflect. Damage reflect.
Yeah. Okay, so top 8 match finishes. It's pretty one-sided, I think.
Yeah.
I remember
It was very one-sided.
I remember by mid-game, you were running out of tokens for Spectral Shields.
Yep, I have 12.
Yeah, and you had like 11 out at some point anyway.
Yeah, it was a culmination of double haze bending and prismatic shield. So yeah.
So would you say it was about as one-sided as those rounds 9 and 10?
No, actually, because he actually hit me more than once.
Oh dear.
Yeah, but yeah. I talked to Adam a little just because he seemed like on edge before the match, and we weren't really like ready to be streamed, I guess, or weren't expecting it to be streamed. But yeah, he seemed kind of on edge. He was from New Zealand. He's played with Matt Rogers and Kale and all that other stuff. So
what's his name? Sorry,
Adam Little.
Like I know a few of the Kiwi players and such. I feel like I might know him.
I think
I don't recognize him. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but yeah, he plays with like I think he said he's from Wellington though, so he has to travel up to Auckland.
Yeah. It's quite a fair bit away for those who are not aware of New Zealand's geography.
Yeah, but yeah, I want to talk to him because he seemed nervous and like it's just like a stressful environment. So just just some small talk. That's all.
So your next match was against Daniel Correas on Chain.
Yeah.
This is something that I also noted was that the first thing you said when he sat down was nice sleeves because you had the same sleeves as him.
Yeah. Aesthetics matter, man.
And then he started talking about the sleeve quality. Like he started like saying like, oh yeah, I like the sleeve because it's like blah blah blah. And I was just like, I really wish this was streamlined right now.
I was gonna say the second thing that Oliver said was Yichin, buy some of those sleeves.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to because I buy them.
Yes, he buys them all. Okay, so Chain matchup. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah. 5th chain of the weekend. He was on, if you guys know who Morrison is Discord, Morrison plays with a lot of the top players, and this is the deck that he made that Pablo, the winner of the Pro Tour, also played on. And Daniel was on the same deck as he was. And this is like a very aggressive, high blood debt density with bounty demigons, yellows, reds, and blues, and all of this stuff. So, yeah, this is Morrison was very, very adamant that Chain could not be fatigued, and funnily enough, Morrison got fatigued in the calling by a Starbucks. So I just thought it was funny. But yeah, Daniel was on this chain list made by Morrison, and he seemed super nervous. Like every turn, he just went into the think tank. Every turn. Like I think Yichin also commented on that. But yeah, eventually he got down. I deleted a lot of damage just to try and pressure him back a little. And he took a lot of damage from my Miraging Metamorphs and a lot of damage from Blood Debt. Eventually he went down to 11 life. Sorry. Okay, let's roll back a little bit. He made a super big misplay where he didn't activate creepers after playing a belittle and searching for a Minnowism. He just played the Minnowism and played a CNC. And I was like, does this have go again? How many action points do you have? And he was just like, oh no. Because he was supposed to activate the creepers to play the Minnowism to get another action point. So he would technically have go again on the CNC. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. So I'll just block the CNC and I'll just have a free turn. And yeah, that was the deciding part of the game. Because he didn't push extra damage that turn. Eventually, yeah, he went down to 11 life after Blood Debt, and then I arc lighted him on the next turn, so he was at 3 life after Blood Debt, and I forced him to pretty much kill me that turn, and I was at 9, I believe. And yeah, he couldn't do it, and eventually I won.
He didn't have the creepers, and I remember this one because I mentioned one bit of luck that you had was that for the first 3 turns, his shackles didn't banish any Blood Debt. And on the turn that you played Arc Knight in response to the shackles, or in response to something, was the first turn he banished Blood Debt, and he banished 3 out of 4 of the cards there were Blood Debt.
Yeah.
So it was a good start or a good mid game for you. That unfortunately was sealed the deal because of the
big misplay. Yeah, he was very stressed out. I can tell, and sometimes just nerves just get to you.
Yeah, it happens. Like it's the kind of thing where if the stakes are so high for you or anything like that, you know, it really can get to you. So I that's why I think you do actually. I wasn't kidding when I said you have an advantage, Oliver, when you're literally just your head's not almost like not even in the pressure zone, right? You're just like, I'm just playing this game for fun.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
So you're immune to it, which is good. It's actually an advantage.
Yeah. I'm just there to play cardboard. That's all. Play with pretty cardboard. Collect pretty cardboard. That's the main goal.
Yeah, there were a couple of comments, by the way, because you got your extended art Findle's tunic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just in like a single or a double sleeve or something like that.
Yep.
And I remember, because this was, to be fair, this happened on stream in the final, but people were commenting and saying, why isn't it in like, you know, a graded thing and all of that? And I was just like, because Oliver just gets his cards to play with.
Yeah, I did grade my cold foil Katsu equipment, but only as this. Yeah, just for fun, just to see how it is, and I would not recommend it. So I just keep everything in a single sleeve now.
Or what grade would you give the grading?
Probably like a 5 out of 10 because it's expensive, but you do get cool slabs, so they do last a long time.
How much did it cost?
So this was like right after the peak of the pandemic when BGS wasn't doing like the economic thing. They're just doing the premium and something else. And standard or something. It cost me around 1,000.
Holy crap!
For 6 or so cards. Please. It was for 6 or so cards. It was cold foil Stormstriders, cold foil Mask, cold foil Breaking Scales, cold foil Snapdragons, cold foil Breeze Rider boots, and
holy shit.
Tunic.
That's all I have to say. I had no idea how much grading was going to be, right? But Jesus.
It was like $150. Yeah, it was like $150 a card, plus shipping, plus insurance there and back, because you have to pay for it
as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's like, oh my god, that's like, from what I remember off the top of my head at the moment, that's like 1,400 or 1,500 Australian dollars or something like that. That's so much money.
And that's why I wouldn't recommend it. But I want to do it just for one time. I want to see how it is. And yeah, only do it if you are in it for the money. I'm not in it for the money.
Okay, so main thing that everybody's waiting for is commentary on your finals game. We won't go too much into it here because I actually do want to do like a rewatch with Oliver commentating. But we do have a couple comments because Kenny won't be able to be here for the rewatch. Specifically
Unfortunately.
about I believe the Tunic situation, right?
Oh my god.
Oh,
So, well, why don't you describe it as to what happened, Oliver, and then
yeah.
I'll talk about
Yeah,
it.
let me summarize the game and then we can go back to it if you want.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So the game overall, he was able to get a really good number of fuses early game and really pressuring my life total. I can't find my life chart, but I believe I was able to claw back a little bit, and I definitely had a good board position and a decent life total, so I can try and close out the game. But yeah, eventually I made a couple misplays. I watched it again with Yichin, and I was like, yeah, this is what I should have done, and what I should have played. And eventually, one of my pitch stacks came back to me, and that ultimately lost me the game. But yeah, it was a really fun game, really close game. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, congrats to Mateus because he played really well, and he deserved it. So yeah, that's all. Yeah, so let's go to the Tunic situation. What happened on my end was that he took his counter off of Tunic, and I was looking around. He was putting it straight to the pitch zone. I didn't actually process it, and since it was like a high stress situation, I believe he thought I nodded because usually I nod or say something verbal to acknowledge these triggers and these activations. But I was still like looking where he was putting that thing, and I was still processing for me. And I think me looking around made him think that I nodded. So when that happened, he went forward with the crippling crush. And at that point, I was like, wait, I didn't realize you're activating Tunic. And at that point, it finally clicked that he was activating Tunic. And then I was like, you didn't let me respond to the Tunic. And then call the judge over a little bit, or for a little bit. And I didn't really want to rewind because the crippling crush was already revealed. I knew I played it out enough times where activating Tunic on your turn with a full card hand, it's obviously going to be a crippling crush. But yeah, I would always play the Arclight Sentinel there. I had Arclight Sentinel in hand, a blue, a War Tune Herald, and another aura, I believe. Yeah, I think it was Arclight Sentinel, Pierce Reality, Yellow War Tune, and Parabol of Humility. I definitely would have played the Arclight Sentinel in response to the Tunic, but since the crippling crush was already revealed, I didn't really want to rewind it because additional information has already been shown, and I didn't really want to cause like a ruckus or any like sort of drama. So I just like, I'll just go with it. That's fine.
Yeah. And this is, as Yichin and Oliver would already know because we talked about this, this is the moment that I'm waiting to gush over a little bit as well. So first up, I want to clarify that you were going to, in that situation, you would have 100% played Arclight Sentinel if he hadn't revealed the crippling. Like if crippling was in his hand and he just removed the Tunic token.
Yeah.
Before you saw the crippling, you're saying you would have 100% played Arclight Sentinel.
Yeah.
Right. And for reference, this game was extremely close. Like at the end of the game, Starvo was on 2 life and you were on 1. And, you know, you could have easily kind of chipped away, I think, at the end, especially if you had that Arclight turn to be able to buy you time. You wouldn't have taken as much damage. You know, you would have had a much better turn with the Arclight Sentinel out. Yeah. So this was a pretty game-defining thing, right? I feel like if the Arclight Sentinel had been in play, I suspect you probably would have won the game.
Yeah. I think, so thinking about it, I don't think it might have done the same, like turn the game because he would have popped time skippers and then swing with hammer or something. Keep the crippling crush in arsenal. That way he can keep the Channeling Frigid around, and then he can do triple ice for crippling crush next turn. But yeah, I don't think that was the most defining part of the game. I think the most defining part of the game was on me misplaying certain stuff. But yeah, it would have changed the game a lot. And I do want to say I was the one that told the judges that I do not want to rewind, and I just want to make that clear in case anyone was like taking out pitchforks and saying that all the judges are bad or that Mateus was like real shocking or anything. It was all on me. It was my decision. So that's all.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why for me, you're a hero.
Oh, like, thank you.
It's the kind of thing where, as you said, you just didn't want it looming over you in that sense, right? And in addition, like obviously, so Mateus, right, was the person who played against. Like obviously, he was quite excited with the crippling crush turn. Like that's why he kind of put it out. And he, as you said, he did think in his mind that you had nodded.
Yeah.
As far as from his perspective, he was concerned, he was totally fine to play the Crippling Crush.
Yes.
Right. And you didn't want to then, because it would have been a huge incident, right? Like if you had gone, well, hang on, actually, now that I have all of this information, I'm going to play the Arclight Sentinel. You know, that's what it would have looked like.
Yeah.
Right? I know that's why I wanted to clarify that you would have played the Arclight Sentinel had you been given the opportunity and he hadn't shown the Crippling Crush. But because he had shown the Crippling Crush, you didn't want to rewind it to that point, even though the judge call would have allowed you to do that. So it wasn't the judge call. It wasn't Mateus. It was just, as you said, you deciding that you didn't want all of that kind of almost spoiling the final of the calling, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And that's why for me, this is an absolutely amazing moment. And again, you can stop me from gushing at any point or anything like that. But I really appreciated that your focus there wasn't just on not rules sharking, right? I mean, I think you would have been well within your rights to play the Arclight Sentinel, honestly. But you know, you decided that the kind of the sanctity of the final, in a sense, was more important than you gaining what would have been quite an edge or, you know, being able to do the play or anything like that. Like you didn't want the message. You wanted the final to be good and interesting.
I wanted it to be a fun
clean.
game. Yeah. Fun on both sides.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like we need more players like that. Like more players who are just interested in kind of the fun and the enjoyment and the highs of the game, right?
Yeah.
Not on, like, I can think of so many things. There's examples that I watch sometimes from Magic, right? Where there's all these really minor, really explicit technical judge calls, right? Where someone will do something like, I remember watching one where they said, I'm going to move to the combat step. And the opponent said, okay. And apparently moving to the combat step means moving to declare attackers and moving past the beginning of combat step, which is an absolutely ludicrous ruling. And in addition to that, it was, you know, that part of that was that the player playing was also not a native English speaker.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I remember that.
That was a terrible, terrible situation, right? And the fact that that was then, I guess, taken advantage of for competitive gain is pretty sad. So I'm really happy to see that even in this particular situation, as I said, if you'd played the Arclight Sentinel, I don't think it would have been comparable to that at all. But people could have seen it as being comparable.
Yeah.
Right? And so you wanted to avoid that entirely. And so it's just such a good moment. I'm so proud.
Thank you, Kenny.
Yes. There's also the interpretation that everything that Oliver has been saying is copium, and that
But,
absolutely right. There is the thing where we're just, you know, we're just talking ourselves up and going, wow, Oliver is so great or whatever. But hopefully we've established enough of a brand, an okay brand of honesty or that kind of thing that should be pretty clear. And
there was a point in the chain game where we miscalculated some math. Chain should have dealt more damage, and one of the spectators caught it. I was like, thank you. Yeah, fair game.
See, fantastic.
Okay.
I hope you come second more.
Yeah. Second, just like your friend. Yeah, we'll see.
Yep, that's right. Just like Roy. Shout out to Roy.
Yep. Yeah, but overall, I had a really fun time, and obviously you guys can see what I opened. That's in one of the other videos. I do want to give like a shout out to all the people that I've met over the course of the event, namely Eric and Rob from Spark of Genius and their friend Nia, Yuki who introduced me to them. Then there was also Ian from the Netherlands and Mansant, who we made a collab with on YouTube. There was also Crap Talk Radio, aka William, who played France and recognized his name from our videos. And he came over and finally put a face to the name. And then there was Morrison from Fat Foundry, good friend that I DM quite a lot actually. Obviously the people that I played, like Robbie, shout out to him. He watches a lot of our stuff and he commented on the videos as well. And then there's Randall, Zach, Chandler, people I've mentioned before, and then the people that I've met in previous events like Evan, Wesley, Peter, and yeah, just all good people having a good time in the flesh and blood. A lot of people recognize me by my voice because I never did like a face reveal, and now they know that I wear a purple hoodie to events, so now I gotta change it into something different. But yeah, overall, really fun weekend, and yeah, congrats again to Mateus, and I just had a really fun time playing.
So, spoiler alert, Oliver Helling has 2 shirts. So if he's not wearing the purple hoodie, he's wearing a blue shirt that has a cat and a burrito that says Purrito. So if you do not see him, the purple hoodie, you can find him by the Purrito shirt. This is not This is not me trying to get Oliver recognized. This is me trying to convince Oliver to buy more shirts.
I have more shirts. I have Hot Dog Man, like a hot dog that's that has like a smiley face on it. I also have like a DJ Cat. I also have like a ton of white V-necks, and I have a Domo shirt. Okay,
Look out for the
I have
burrito
more than
shirt.
just my burrito shirt. All right.
Look out. Okay.
Oh my god.
All right, so we'll probably follow this up with the play-by-play analysis where we get to scrutinize Oliver's play, or he gets to scrutinize his own play. Oliver criticizing Oliver.jpg.
Mhm.
And
Oliver reacts to Oliver.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess that'll be it. Thanks for listening, everybody.
This was probably the most fun episode for me. I think I laughed way more than usual.
You're welcome. Try my best.
Oliver's talking.
Oh god.
Okay, see you in the next episode. I guess it will be probably Uprising spoilers, most likely. Yeah.
Uprising
yeah.
design and discussion. We don't talk about spoilers. We talk about the design.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay,
We
that's
we just make armchair design decisions and
Yeah.
make hot takes.
Talk about how encouraging players to run only reds will probably be a bad idea.
Yep.
Okay, sounds good. See you guys later.
All right. Bye.